Good day, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Todd Stanning. Thank you very much for tuning into my Sasquatch Sunday videos. I've got an excellent show for you today because millions of people have been asking me about this, and I'm going to put this topic to rest about Survivor Man, a little mistake he made in his show, talking about an encounter I had with Bigfoot that's going to actually lead me into me getting very specific about exactly what a juvenile Sasquatch I saw looked like, and more about Sasquatch with eye color, skin color, and not just what I've seen with, not just what I have with video evidence, but my eyewitness accounting, precisely everything I can give you to show you and help you understand exactly what I've seen from the dozens and dozens of sightings I've had of Sasquatch, with my video evidence to substantiate that, and with what happened on Survivor Man. So let's get into that today. 2025, when you sign up with my Patreon account on Patreon under Discovering Bigfoot or Todd Stanning, you will be given collections of photographs. The Jane collection, like it's never been seen before. The Jake collection, videos, chronicles, and most importantly, in June, to all my Patreon followers, I'll be releasing Discovering Bigfoot Part 2. So much amazing stuff every month exclusively to my Patreon followers, so get involved. This is a change in Bigfoot, ladies and gentlemen. It's a very, very exciting thing. We're going to be doing boots on the ground investigation. So much to come. Stay tuned for more announcements. Get involved. Go to Todd Stanning or Discovering Bigfoot on Patreon. So on Survivor Man, Bigfoot Radium, which is spectacular. I'm so proud of those episodes. They're getting millions of views right now. But specifically, I want to talk about this right here. So you can see the episodes themselves, besides his director's commentary, and there's 4 episodes of Survivor Man Bigfoot starring me. They're getting literally millions and millions of views. And there's this question that keeps coming up, especially because this particular video short that's at 500,000 views right now and exploding up talks about where I saw a Sasquatch and a mistake they made. They just did this. They do this in film. It's definitely not precise, but it's very confusing for obvious reasons because they do a cutaway shot of Jake. So Jake is not the Sasquatch I was talking about my sighting. Not at all. So that cutaway shot was just, I don't know why they did that. It's a complete mistake. People are very confused by that. And so what happened was I saw a juvenile Sasquatch, a very young Sasquatch, I think between the age of probably I'd say 3 or 4 years old approximately. So, and I'm talking about that accounting in this particular short and in this section of Survivor Man Bigfoot Radium.
I took about 6 or 7 steps, looked back, and it hadn't moved a millimeter. Still just there looking at me. And I waited about a minute till it blinked again, and I was like, that was a blink, that's not a rock.
I believe this was season 1, right beside where we found this incredibly sick, one of my favorite tracks of all time, where they're busting a log. The track that was over, like 10 years ago, so the track doesn't really look as good as it used to. But when Survivor Man and I saw it, it was fresh, like it was brand new. An incredible, incredible track that you can feel the toes. It strikes down on the ground, busting this log as the Sasquatch runs uphill. To tremendous force to do that. I absolutely love that track.
Yeah, that's not a human weight's not going to break that like that. Not a chance.
Really impressive.
You can see the toe prints.
Yeah.
Obviously completely uncastable, but as Survivor Man put his fingers in it, he even said like he could feel toes in there, like it was so profoundly compressed. Obviously a Sasquatch track, seeing that a man couldn't have been able to do that. That took the force of that Sasquatch track in particular was a younger teenage male, about 15 years old, and probably weighed in excess of 400 pounds, never mind the power that he has. Imagine a 400-pound man with double the strength of a gorilla. That's what you're looking at, especially leg strength running up. So that was incredible. So anyway, we were talking about this specific particular incident where I saw a young Sasquatch that was, so even let's get more into detail about what actually happened. So I was coming back from having filmed the Jane incident. So that's when Search and Rescue went looking for me. So I came back with Jane footage, and then I had that flare incident with the Sasquatch.
God damn it.
And then I had more incidents happen where the Sasquatch pushed me back into the wilderness. Then I had a grizzly bear chase me up the mountain. Spent days up on top of the mountain where the Sasquatch were interacting with me like, I'd say like my worst nightmare, but it was actually really a dream come true what happened. And Jason Shute and other expeditioners have been up there and seen the incredible magic of that place. It's actually considered by the Sasquatch to be holy ground. That's why Survivor Man got so much success. That's where he filmed the top of the head of a Sasquatch, was up on that incredible radium hike. But anyways, it was after all that stuff had happened. What I was doing was I was up there, and all these incidents had transpired. Search and rescue had come, and I could see the search and rescue trucks. And I wanted to get my butt down there in a hurry, even though I was suffering from exposure, shock. I mean, I'd been out there for like 9 days, and I hadn't eaten in 4 days, nothing but water. So I was, I was literally suffering from exposure. But I hurried down there because I had, a few days before, I had had a predatorial incident with a grizzly bear, and I wanted to get down there and go, you shouldn't have search and rescue people running through here because there's a dangerous bear. And when I got down there and I told them that, I had pictures of the bear's tracks to show them, like, you better get out of here, like, search and rescue, this is too dangerous, don't do this. And they went, Todd standing? And I went, yes. I go, oh, well, search and rescue's over because we were looking for you. So that ended it. Everything was cool. Nobody had that incident with the bear. But so let's talk about specifically, exactly truthfully, what I saw. So I've got some photographs of gorillas here to help you understand, to get some clarity around, because I've never had any photographs of a young Sasquatch. They have a very specific look to them. First of all, I'd like to talk about the blackness of it. So I found this photograph online of a Sasquatch. I don't know if it's real or not, and I'm not really going to do a review of it until I get some backstory on it, if there is any backstory. If you know backstory on this Sasquatch, this alleged Sasquatch photograph, please tell me. The proportions look very human, and that kind of is a pretty big red flag for me. I think when a Sasquatch gets to be about this height, this looks like maybe a 5 or 6 foot tall Sasquatch. When the Sasquatch get to that height, they get enormous. But I'm mostly interested in the face of this this photograph, because that is very similar to the Sasquatch, the young Sasquatch that I saw. Let's just say he's a 3-year-old, and I'm going to say he too. I just had that feeling. I can't substantiate that or not. I've really become an expert in breaking down, that's a male elk, that's a male moose, that's a female, that's not, even in the trackways. And now they're even doing it with bears. I could write a whole book about how I could just look at a bear and see the pear-shapedness of a female in the glutes, in the face, in the legs, and in her movement, and in her trackway, to identify a female, as opposed to a boar where they're very brutish and thick and boxy. But anyways, this, I'm going to say it's a male. I'm just going to assume that. And very likely it was a male. What he was black, like Kubota. Remember Kubota? Let's have a look at Kubota for a second. So Kubota's jet black. That's very rare that I see that in a Sasquatch. And even more so, his eyes are so freaking black. Like black. Like, let's have a look at this gorilla photograph. You see this gorilla, and let's have a look at the eyes. This is kind of odd how the eyes are kind of brown and dark, and Kubota wasn't like that. And Jane and Jake, their eyes are much more defined, with like a pupil and the brownness that's fluid through the entire eye. In fact, I think if I showed this, if people didn't know what gorillas look like, I'm going to say this a couple times today. If people didn't know what gorillas look like, and I showed this photograph of a gorilla, they would say it's fake. 100%. People only know this is a real gorilla because it costs more to make a fake gorilla than it does to actually go film a real gorilla in Africa. But anyways, so Kubota, who's old, let me enforce that too. So I had a drawing of Kubota done, and let's have a look at that. So this is an artist rendering of my, when I've seen Kubota. Like, when you see Kubota, all you see is a small section of him. He's peering through a busted log and an oddly shaped root. This is what his head looks like entirety. He has male pattern baldness, which is something that Jeff Meldrum told me about. You see that a lot in chimpanzees. So I did see that in Kubota, but as you can see in this artist rendering, just black. So especially in the eyes. And that's something that I really want to, so when we get back to this alleged photograph of what's probably not a Sasquatch, the face looked very similar, but what I'm seeing here is blackness. What's missing, however, Kubota was balding, but jet black, unlike Jake and Jane. And then this young Sasquatch, however, was the opposite. He had a puffball for hair, like these gorillas. Let's have a look at this. So this particular gorilla, I like this one. This is kind of a body shot. So I didn't see that Sasquatch's shoulders. I didn't see his arms, but I saw him up in his shoulder area. And he was fluffy looking, even more fluffy than this. In fact, let's look at this one, or this gorilla. See the puffiness of the top of the head? Imagine that all the way around. So, and that kind of makes sense because Sasquatch are much more cold weather. These are mountain gorillas, and Sasquatch have to deal with much more cold. So the young would likely be, you know, it's poofier looking. Remember, this is hair, not fur. All these primates, gorillas, orangutans, chimpanzees, human beings, and Sasquatch all have hair. So imagine a little bit more puffy than this gorilla particularly, and that's what I saw. But the face was of this Sasquatch that's probably not realistic. So imagine this face with puffiness and young like the gorilla as well. I'd also like to note, like as an example, this photograph of a gorilla. Again, if people didn't know about gorillas, I promise you, they would go, Ewok, fake. You know, they would say, this is not real. There's no such thing as gorillas. But since we know, the paradigm shift has already transpired. If I come back with a photograph of a young Sasquatch, it's going to look just like this. It's going to be very similar to this. And people are going to look at it and go, that looks like an Ewok, and that looks like garbage, and that's photographed. Because in actuality, let's look at this gorilla again. Remember, this is filmed, like these photographers take hundreds of, if not thousands of photographs and pick from the best one. This gorilla has shine on his face. There's no like it's like his skin is, you know, it's shiny, almost like a plastic, and his eyes are poor. If I gave you a picture of a Sasquatch like that, like my Sasquatch don't have any shine at all. Their eyes are nice and consistent. They don't look odd like this particular gorilla. And just to me, actually, when you make a comparison, I think my photographs of Jake and Jane look more realistic than these photographs of the gorilla, except people know gorillas are real, so I don't get any heat about that. And I'd like to also note, so the old Kubota, who's a rare one, jet black. The young Sasquatch that I saw, jet black. Especially, again, let's look at these gorillas, these young gorillas' eyes. See, there's a brownness to them. There's always a little bit brown. Kubota, no brown, jet black. And I'm telling you, that young Sasquatch, so his hair was jet black. His face was jet black, like this one. This is why I wanted to show you this. And his eyes, and all around his eyes, jet black, nothing but blackness, period. So when I look at photographs of Jake, and in my eyewitness accounting of Jake, I'm going to tell you, Jake is dark brown. So we got Kubota, who's black, Jake, who's dark brown, nice looking eyes, very, very clear, fluid looking, with a potential pupil in there, and then Jane, who's just brown. Jane was filmed in direct sunlight, so she's got a reddish tinge to her. Not just direct sunlight, but there was snow on the ground. So the snow is, the sun is bleaching. So it's a bright, beautiful, sunny day, hot even. And the sun is shooting off of the snow and back up. So you got bleaching color from below and above in the snow, which made her look a hint reddish brown, I would say. Maybe even the photographs that I took, the camera was improperly set and she looks reddish, but she's not red. She's brown, like a nice color brown, a beautiful fluid brown. Jake is darker and Jane is light brown. So that's what I want to talk about today is, so in the short that you see and in the Survivor Man Bigfoot episodes where they do the cutaway, it's absolutely not Jake that I saw. It was a young Sasquatch. I have no photographs or video of that Sasquatch. That Sasquatch also, that young Sasquatch, remember when I when I talked about it, I mean, Search and Rescue went looking for me, what was that, 2009-ish, 2010? I don't remember the exact year. But that's over a decade ago, like well over. We're coming up on 15 years. So that Sasquatch that was 3 years old is now 18. Woo! Fully grown. And by my estimates, going to be probably about an 18-inch track, probably going to weigh around 1,000 pounds, be over 9 feet tall. So that little Sasquatch that I saw is all grown up. Considering if he's a normal size Sasquatch, the vast majority of Sasquatch I've seen are normal size males around 9 feet-ish tall, very thick, very muscular. Kubota is not. And I've never seen another Sasquatch that had male pattern baldness like Kubota. So Kubota's about 8'4". He's slimmer, he's older, and he just looks different. He's a different looking Sasquatch. We get that amongst people, so don't really complain about that. People are a big complaint, besides the preposterousness, I just want to kind of laugh about this, that people are continuously saying, it's clearly you, Todd. I'm clearly Jane, I'm clearly Jake, and I'm clearly Kubota. I mean, I have to laugh. And they say the most ridiculous things. Those are clearly your eyes. Look, it's like looking in a mirror. Look at how identical that is. Especially like, look, I mean, it's just ridiculous. People say that's me. That's me. And it's clearly me. Clearly, vividly me. I've proven how big that Sasquatch is. We've also proven that Kubota's eyes are completely not human. So when you take a human being's eye and you pull it in the middle, every artist that has any sort of knowledge of artistry knows all human beings, to get the proportions of their eyes correctly when you draw them as an artist. See, Thinker Thunker is a moron and too incompetent to know this. He's ignorant. That's why when he did the blow up of me, where he stretches my face to match to try to match me into Jake, and it doesn't work. If you look at the damn photograph, my nose is sticking out the bottom, for God's sake, and the mouths don't match properly. I mean, it's absolutely preposterous. And look, you want to see something really cool? Look at this. Look at my eyes. I have blue-gray eyes with bright white. And then another thing to notice is, look at this, pink. That's something I was taught about special effects makeup artists. I have about half of the special effects makeup artist community believe that my footage is absolutely real. The other half think I'm some kind of genius special effects makeup artist. It's just like the garbage that goes on. You gotta laugh about it, because I don't know what else to say. But one thing I've learned too is Kubota, and Jake as well. I don't even know. Like, it's so preposterous to say that. I can't even really talk about it because it's absolutely asinine and ridiculous. But so Kubota's eyes don't match any human being's eyes. What's awesome, I don't have a pair of glasses here. What's awesome you'll see about me, I want to show you guys this just to do a little cool thing about human beings, in case you don't know about the proportions that human beings have, is I can go into any store, any sunglass store, any 7-Eleven, I don't know, your local store where they have glasses, and I just put glasses on, they fit perfectly. They fit like a glove. You can put these on my daughter, who's 7 years old, and they fit pretty well. They're a little big for her, but she'll go into it. A woman who is 5'2", and I'm a man who's 6'3", can wear the same glasses. They fit on our faces quite well because the proportions are the same. These glasses wouldn't even come close to fitting on Kubota. It would be completely off. And Jake, are you kidding me? I couldn't even put these on his head. Well, even on Kubota's head. Their heads are enormous. Their eye spans are off. You can even just look at it. Judge for yourself. I mean, Jake's eyes, I'm telling you, as an eyewitness, his eyes are at least 3 times the size of mine. They're huge. His eyes are big like that. And then when you take his eyes and you see that they're proportionately, they almost 2 eyes, or it's actually more than 2 eyes, fit in between the space. Like the Elephant Man didn't have off proportions like that. Like the Sasquatch's proportions are very non-human. They are bipedal. They're enormously muscular. It is awesome how muscular they are, especially the males. There's serious sexual dimorphism between the males and females. The males are, which means that males are significantly bigger. So that's what I wanted to get into today, is a little bit of give you some insight on that young Sasquatch that I saw, and that mistake that's in Survivor. It's really, I'm not complaining about it. I understand how people are confused by it. I understand why they did it. They were just getting a cutaway shot of a Sasquatch, and I never complained about it. But it's really confusing people, and that obviously answers the question. They were just using a random. I mean, there's not much for cutaways of Sasquatch. How many Sasquatch videos are there out there? So I have a collection of 9 Sasquatch videos and growing, and each videos and photographs. So 9 separate incidents. It's even more than that. I got 2 in my new documentary. 1, 2. Yeah, I got 2 shots of a Sasquatch in my new documentary that's coming out. And and then the Jake incident, I had multiple videos and a couple of photographs that I took that day with the Canon camera that I had with a nice lens on it. And then Jane, the same thing. I got multiple videos of Jane and multiple photographs. And then video 2 and 3 are just those. They're just singularly, they stand on their own. Sasquatch that I filmed via video on 2 entirely separate occasions. So lots going on. If you want more Sasquatch content, a lot of people that are demanding more footage kind of frustrates me a little bit, because you got to understand, this footage literally cost me hundreds of thousands of dollars, tens of thousands of hours of my life. Remember, I've been doing this since 2006. I've been killing it doing this, spending thousands of hours every year, hundreds of days now that I spend out in the wilderness every year. And you're complaining you want more footage? Well, that's cool. I appreciate people that are having difficulty affording things. But if you want more footage and you're really passionate about this topic, join me on Patreon. You can join for as little as $5 a month. If you want to get tons of product back to you, it's $15 a month. If you want to get lots of special benefits and stuff and actually have a phone call with me, it's $50 a month. And I'll have a call with you and we'll talk about some serious benefits if you're getting into Sasquatch. I can really, really help you out and give you good value for that investment. So, and with the $15 a month, we're going to get incredible things happening, guys, like our own TV show. The reason I've never done a TV show, like had my own series, but beyond what I did with Survivor Man, which was exceptional, is because these TV shows, I'm going to tell you something, because people ask me this a lot. There's a TV show going on right now, and I'm not a part of it. And Jeff Meldrum's not a part of it. That actually TV show that's going on right now, they came to me first. Who do you think does Bigfoot expeditions? I'm not going to name any names, but you can figure it out. You know why they didn't do a show with Todd Stanning, Jeff Meldrum, and Ian Redmond? Because we wouldn't lie. Because we won't be dishonest. And Survivor Man is incredibly honest and did very, very well. But if you want an honest depiction of an honest show that honestly talks about what's happening and won't fabricate anything, that's what we do. That's what I've been doing. That's why I've been having incredible success. I've taken out dozens of people now that have eyewitnessed or had a live interaction with Sasquatch. So we've had tremendous, tremendous success. And the goal too with this is when I'm not doing my expeditions from June till October every year, when I'm not boots on the ground, I'll be flying around to Alaska, all the way down to Tennessee. I got spots in Alabama, Florida, Texas, New York State, where people have sightings of Sasquatch, and we'll boots on the ground investigate it. When there's something in the news that happens that's major, like what these two gentlemen went missing around Christmas, I could have flown out there and done an investigation and done a little a segment, like a television show segment, to represent Sasquatch. And that's what this Patreon account is about. We're going to get real things done. No disrespect, again, to people that have done Bigfoot TV shows, even in the past. What did they really do? Like, what have they done for Sasquatch? Because I'll tell you, I fought for species protection. I went to court, and I will go to courts again to substantiate, because the evidence that this species exists is far beyond overwhelming. I take people out and show them Sasquatch. I do Sasquatch television shows all the time. I'm always out there talking about the reality of the species. I answer emails, and I talk to people all the time about their encounters, and it's my whole life. I'm a full-time Sasquatch researcher. I give back to this research significantly every year. I'm boots on the ground for at least 5 months of the year. So we're really getting it done. We're getting extreme progress. We're really making movements forward. The discovery of Bigfoot, as far as I'm concerned, it's already happened. Let's just take it up to the next level. So I really appreciate those Patreon donations. I need help. I'm not going to do this alone. I go public and do these videos because I'm not doing it alone. I teach people about Sasquatch. I'm a full-time Sasquatch researcher. If you're enthusiastic, if you really want this discovery done, if it's important to you, make those monthly donations. If you can't afford it, cool. Just share the videos, talk about what I'm doing, and let's get the word out there, because the next level we're going to go to is when Joe Rogan stops talking about me, which he does on a regular basis, and he actually comes out with me into the field, and I have him live interact with or eyewitness Sasquatch. Talk to Tyler Alvera. I don't know why Tyler Alvera chickened out on me. So I had a whole thing going on with him and his assistant Bailey, and they just backed away and disappeared. So I don't know what their issue was. And there's just, list goes on. Russell Brandt, I'd love to take one of these big internet celebrities out now. I think that's where it really matters. I'm not so much interested in working with CNN, BBC, MSN, BBC, Fox, all those networks I was on before. And the newspapers like the New York Times, the Washington Post, the National Post. I've been in all those. I'm not interested in working with them anymore because of their lack of integrity recently that they've shown. So I want to work with these big names. And once that happens, we'll explode to another level. And that really matters, that we get out there and talk about this de facto discovery that is, in fact, a reality. Let's make it happen step by step. Thank you very much for your support. Lots more videos to come. Until then, bye for now.